to be. As long as that's there, he can't get to you because he's not getting out of the mountain.
I think if it's not religious, it's the positivity.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's the positivity of all that there will always be light in life, and not to let the darkness overtake you, for to say the least. But all in all, I mean, that next scene with the sunrise and you hear Ave Maria, and the song will always bring a tear to my eye, and this being in a Disney movie brought a tear to both eyes. It's one of those impactful songs that you can't get out of your head, or it's always played at either a sorrowful event or maybe even just on a radio as you're listening, to a certain genre, but it will always bring a tear to your eye. And what brought even both of that was the fact that the light came through and showed.
Right.
That was the happy part of the movie, of the segment, was that, because through the whole segment before that was all evil, and you were wondering where the good was.
And even the evil looked happy.
Yes.
Like the dancing skeletons and ghouls and ghosts, they all, this is our souls being sent to the brimstones of hell, and they're, yay, this is fun.
And you think to yourself, how could you be happy? But in a way, I guess the cliche of misery loves company could be, in fact, somewhere tied into this.
Yeah, and these are the souls that didn't allow the light in. They didn't. They didn't stay around for it.
Correct. So Ave Maria comes to the end of the movie, and then
that was really sad. And then I was really sad. I have to be honest with you though. The all the music they used, even for the negative scene, like the Bald Mountain scene, it's all so soothing that it ended last night, and I put it back on because I just went to sleep to the music.
Okay.
I mean, so I to the listeners, I have an Echo Dot in my bedroom, and I usually listen to thunderstorms or whatever, those ambient noise. Mm-hmm. I grew up, my summers in Pennsylvania, I loved rain on a tin roof. It's just a noise that I grew accustomed to over time, and you can't get that anywhere else. But in places like where I was in Pennsylvania, you're surely not getting that in New York City proper. But so now I can get that there. But the music is so soothing throughout this whole thing that me and my wife just put it back on, turned it down just a little so it wasn't on full blast, and used that as the ambient noise for the night.
Yeah. You talk ambient noises, like I use the beaches as part of the ambient noises.
We have one like that.
The waves crashing on the sand. But it just goes to show you that individuals take away individual things because of what it means to them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And this is one of those, and I'm glad we're talking about this movie. And now we're only two voices. And listeners, we'd love to hear your take on this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your take on this movie. So please feel free to write us.
Yeah, anytime. We love talking Disney, so we will talk with any of you on Disney.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I made a promise up top that there would be another deal here for Disney fans. If you're listening to this podcast, I assume you're a Disney fan. And there's a great business called Cuts by Magic. It's on Facebook. You just look up Cuts by Magic, CUTSBYMAGIC. It's custom clothing. Now, if you go to Disney World, you'll notice that there's always families in custom shirts or custom, the whole family has a shirt, or dad has a shirt that says, I don't wear matching shirts, but everyone else has a matching shirt. Cuts by Magic does that. If you use the code Mickey's Marvels for this month, you will get 10% off your order. That includes if you are a returning customer. So it's not just for new customers. If you're someone who's already ordered from this business and you're listening to this podcast, you will still get 10% off, and that code is Mickey's Marvels.
Now, is that all caps?
The code, no, well, you talk to the person who actually custom makes your clothes, actually speaks to you directly through private message on Facebook. So you just tell them.
Oh, okay. So it's
Mickey's
not
Marvels.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You just talk. Go through. You can also find that on Etsy. Mickey's Marvels, Cuts by Magic, I mean, and you can, when you send over your order, I guess you could put it in there for the 10% discount or whatever, or you can contact the seller first. But I would do it through Facebook, that you get a more personal experience with the seller, and they customize anything to your liking, whatever you want. They'll change the fonts for you. They'll change the images for you. You can go over this with them till you're absolutely happy, and then you'll get a great product in return. I promise you. So go to Mickey, Cuts by Magic, use Mickey Marvels, and you will get 10% off your order. Even, like I said, if you're a returning customer who's listening, they'll still give you that 10%. This is not just for new customers.
Ladies and gentlemen, listeners, there you have it. A podcast by fans, for fans, with fans who are in the business, who love what they do, just like we love what we do. Talking Disney. Well, that ends our discussion on this classic Disney film, which is just one example of the many that stand the test of time. So while this ends our discussion on the classic Disney film, which is just one example of the many that stand the test of time. So on our next podcast, we will review a film from the winning movie franchise of a 7-day Facebook poll, which you, the listener, shall choose. That's right, folks. I'm going to put up a poll on Facebook, and I'm going to post it in the Disney Aficionado website. So if you are not a member, you can contact my co-host, who's also the admin of the Disney Aficionado webpage. Yes. And please get your votes in. You'll have 7 days to vote. And we've already covered Disney for this podcast. But what do you want to see? Here are your choices. Marvel, Pixar, or Star Wars. Those are your three. So we can't wait to hear from you to see what you want. So Patrick, where can people find you when you're not prancing around in a pixie cut amongst Tinkerbell's family and friends during the 4 seasons?
Well, when I'm not doing that, which I try to do as often as possible because it's very relaxing, you can find me over on the Trek FM network.
Late laugh. Okay, go ahead.
It's all right. So you can find me over on Trek FM network with my good friend Amy Nelson doing a podcast called The Edge, which is about Discovery, the newest Star Trek until Picard comes out. But to this date, it's still the newest. You can also find me hanging around Facebook and Twitter. I am Magic Drop 5. It is one word. The 5 is a digit. There are no spaces, like I said. And you can also find me on that Facebook page that Chris mentioned, Disney Aficionados. It's Disney-Aficionado. And where I admin, but we just talk Disney. It's a bunch of friends. Almost everyone on there is actually a personal friend of mine as of right now. So we just talk Disney when we can and throw up hints and news and things to come, and you can get good tips and tricks for going on vacations or what movies to watch. Those are the kind of things we talk about there. And also you can vote on the polls. Chris, so where can people find you when you're not melding yourself back to a mountain after a night of highfalutin dancing with ghouls?
As I look down and realize that I'm 300 pounds. Built like a mountain. Wow. When I'm not doing that, and I really, really, really need to go from a mountain to a molehill, when I'm not doing that, you can find me all around the socials. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter, where my handle is @TrekFanLV, where I talk mostly Star Trek, but now I'm going to start talking Disney. I also started following Disney proper on the socials as well. You can find me on Facebook as a member of the Disney-Aficionado fan page. I'm more than happy to talk anything with you guys, Disney, Trek related, whatever the case may be, or what you even had for breakfast. I will even talk to you about that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're definitely going to try and be one of the most fan-friendly podcasts that are out on any network anywhere. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, that's our goal, folks, is that, we want to hear your what you guys want. You know, we can sit and we can choose podcasts all day long, but what is it you truly want to listen to? Or, you know, what you want to hear our opinions on? Whatever your favorite film is from any of the franchises under the Disney umbrella. So this is, again, your podcast by us, the fans, as well.
At this time, we would like to thank our executive producers. They are Brandon-Shea, Zach Moore, Ken Tripp, and Tony Robinson. They make UFP possible, and it's a great network to be bringing these podcasts to you from. This ends our show, listeners, and we hope to hear you listen to us here on the show by searching UFP Network wherever you get your podcasts. We ask you please follow the UFP Network on Facebook or on Twitter, which is at UFP Earth. Have any feedback regarding our show? Feel free to contact us via email. We hope you join us next time on Mickey's Marvels, because who doesn't want to be a kid again?
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.